Co-host and executive producer of Movie Show Plus. Tom, great to talk to you this morning.
Hey, what's happening? It's great to be here and talking to you, Jen.
Now, the last time you and I talked, we were talking about award shows, and I have to kind of pivot, and the theaters were still closed. The tone, thankfully, it's a lot different today. So let's start with the big entertainment news of the week. Amazon buying MGM for $8.5 million. What is this going to mean for theaters and for those streaming services?
It's a huge deal because of the following reasons. So people hear MGM, I mean, and just the history involved with that title. But what people don't realize is that it's kind of murky. We don't really exactly know what this is going to mean because, not to get too complicated, but anything that was released before 1986 is actually owned by Warner Media. And so when Amazon is buying MGM, they're getting a huge library, 4,000 some titles. But it's pretty much everything since 1986. So think about like movies like, Legally Blonde or, Dumb and Dumber, things like that, like RoboCop.
A lot of classics came out after '86, yeah. Yeah,
absolutely. So what's cool about this is that we could see the expansion in some of these franchises. Like maybe there's a RoboCop cinematic universe that could be explored. The James Bond film, of course, is what MGM is most kind of noted for. It's still owned by Barbara Broccoli and the Broccoli family. So even though Amazon will have the distribution rights, anything creatively would still have to go through them. So MGM in the recent years has been more of a licensing company as opposed to a major powerhouse in Hollywood. So it'll be interesting to see what comes out of this. But Amazon has very deep pockets, and they now have a lot more titles to work with. So you're going to see a lot more content coming to the streaming service.
Now, indoor capacity limits at theaters, Tom, they boosted to 50% on Tuesday, and you talked to some theater owners. What are they preparing for?
Yeah, so from everybody I talked to, I spoke with the Maple Theater. I spoke with, I got a statement from Imagine Entertainment and also MJR. And across the board, pretty much what's happening is they're just going in line with what is currently the rules. So as of right now, at all of those theaters, if you're fully vaccinated, you do not have to wear a mask. There's not going to be people checking for the mask at the theater. But all of the other rules are still in place. There's social distancing, there's capacity limits. And then I think as the state changes, the rules and the regulations moving forward, I think the theaters are going to comply. And that leads us into this weekend because just as theaters are opening up, we're starting to finally get some really cool, awesome, long-awaited movies hitting the theaters.
Speaking of that, before we let you go, Tom, some of those long-delayed movies, including a highly anticipated sequel hitting the big screen. Can we talk about some of those?
Yeah, the big movie this weekend is A Quiet Place 2.
So excited for that. The first one was so good.
And this one is, Jen, I'm happy to say, is like even better. Like it's so good. I love it. I hope people go see it. It's like the movie, if you're wanting to go back to the theater, like it's a perfect movie for that, right? The other big movie is Cruella. That movie is, of course, opening in theaters and on Disney Plus for a premium rate. But Cruella, great production value. I think everybody's going to love Cruella as well. I didn't love Cruella. It was okay. But Quiet Place 2 and Cruella, hopefully this will be the biggest weekend at the box office since the pandemic.
And I know a lot of hype around both of those movies, so just a lot to look forward to because they have been talked about so much. Thank you, Tom Santilli, so much. Thanks for joining us. We'll talk to you again soon, I'm sure.
Great to be here, Jen. Thanks.
And it looks like a good day to stay in and watch a movie today. Let's send it over to Kevin Jeans. He is tracking our morning showers. Kevin?
Yeah, it might be a relaxing start to Memorial Day weekend. Stay inside. It's going to be cold and windy and rainy all morning, and it's going to stay windy this afternoon. I'm going to time out